very different from game number 1 of the day. It is ViV Esports against Principality. We're onto the Rift already, and we're 40 seconds in, and we're into the laning phase to start things off. So we'll have to keep an eye on how this bottom lane goes. I think like so much of it is focused on late game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both these team comms do really, really well in the late game. You know, you've got Kai'Sa Lulu on one side, you got Vayne Morgana on the other side. The Vayne will be able to get the black shield, which is the really, really important in this game, because you got the things like Galio taunt, you got the Renekton that can also taunt you as well. Even things like Olaf as well with the slows. You know, and Morgana shield can be really, really helpful when it gets into that late game. But for now, it's just going to be a bit of a stalemate for the moment. There's some fighting happening in the top lane. This is twice now already that Miloup's gone down to this low health. He's already taken a honey fruit in the top lane as well. But meanwhile, on the mid lane, there seems to be a little bit of an exchange, but looks like they're just shaking hands for the moment.
Champion, and as soon as I have to think about things, it's gone. Like, that's why I'm not used to some of those Kai'Sa mechanics. But certainly Jesus has that Blade of the Ruined King now, getting towards that second evolved. Is it off Blade of the Ruined King, or do you need one more dagger in order to get the second
you either go for Stinger or Recurve Bow, depending on what sort of build. Stinger will go into Fluor Charge Blade, but some people like to go Dagger for the Runa's Hurricane to just get a lot more spread damage. And you can see as well, talking about builds, Ryu's actually going for like a full AP Morgana build, which I really like. As mentioned during the draft, they don't really have a lot of AP damage, and especially because Corki's going for like this Black Cleaver Solari Charge Blade sort of build, which is a little bit interesting. We normally see items like, you know, like last game, Essence Reaver or Manamune into that Solari Charge Blade, just going for the crit build. But this build is more about Corki trying to help the rest of his team, being able to reduce the armor of the side of Principality with his third ability, reducing the armor, and also with Black Cleaver as well at the same time. So kind of more helping and not being a main damage source than being a main carry that Corki can be. But Ritold and Dragon's back up again. We might see a handshake a completely opposite way around, but both teams trying to get their mid lane priority.
This time the package is here for Shargz, and you can see there's a little bit more of a fight. Javan's already started the Dragon, but this pressure is starting to build. 9 minutes without a kill is a very long time, but both of these teams have really solid late game. Javan should be able to take this before anybody from Principality can contest, but now they're going to try and take the Rift Herald. But at this point, ViV can come and cut up into the river, and they've actually split Principality. Binding lands onto Galio. No Rift Herald taken yet. It's way too healthy at this point, and maybe this is an opportunity to ViV to just say, okay, let's just try and take mid tower, push it back out, and prevent Galio from at least getting in. But that ultimate is there. That ultimate is available. Package, I believe, was about to expire on the timer, and now the Dark Binding lands. Dominus pop by Renekton. There comes the Galio ultimate, and it's actually going to hit 2 members of ViV, but the Vayne has already taken out Olaf. But some of the damage gone. Morgana is going to stasis with the chains, locking. It's a double kill for Vayne. It's a triple kill for Vayne. Can it be on day 1? Looking for the Quadra. It's not going to be anything more. It's going to be 2 kills going over to Shargz and 1 over to Miloup. It's a triple kill for Vayne. I thought that the Penta was in mind, but it's a clean ace. Like, she just got the gold injection to be like, okay, second item, all my boots with the stasis enchant. I'm now basically safe. All I have to do is play to my own range and everything's fine. I'll just walk this team fight down. I don't really know, apart from getting caught on the side lane, how Principality are going to turn this one around. With the Olaf, they should be able to take this down quite easily, pick up a kill. But here's the engage in middle lane. Cataclysm dodged out once again, was used with the ultimate from Lulu to make sure that Kai'Sa survived. But this is a jungle versus AD carry matchup that looks a lot less damning than I thought it was going to be because of that interaction.
Yeah, the interaction there helping out. I don't think Lulu really needed to use ultimate. I think he was just playing safe. But Miloup in this top side at the moment, but I already talking about the early game about him playing really aggressive. A little bit of an overstep from him. Most of the time when you're split pushing in situations like that, you need to kind of look at the rest of the map. You need to communicate with your team, because if you don't have any pressure in the mid lane, if you don't have the minion wave in the mid lane, then and if you don't really know where the jungler is, and if you don't have any vision, then there's always that possibility of the jungler being there, being able to catch them out. And you know, it is a kill over to Principality. That is their first kill of their game, and that's not something that ViV Esports, you know, wants to really deal with, to be honest. If you get, you know, little tiny mistakes like that, that's a way for Principality to come back into this game. You know, 5k gold lead at the moment. This Vayne is still really, really strong. 3-0-2, has a Blade of the Ruined King, has the Sorry Charge Blade, going for the Wit's End as well. And once this Vayne gets 3, you know, even 4 items as well, that's really when this champion can come online and start to be a force that Principality don't want to deal with.
Yeah, that's so true. A couple of items being built so far by both teams to try and combat some of the strengths of the others. I love to see the Oblivion Orb on the full AP Morgana this early on, cut through some of the healing that's going to come through from the side of Principality that we already touched on. Likewise, on the other side, the Shadows boot enchant is going to reveal Vayne if she's one of the targets, but Vayne is going to play with Fire 1 versus 4 around the middle lane. Don't need the Shadows enchant for that one. However, ViV kind of have the momentum to go down towards this dragon and look at taking their second of the game with this mountain.
Yeah, you can see again, it's a situation where the jungler, again, for the side of ViV, Turyzz, is just being able to take the dragon for completely free. And meanwhile, ViV are just distracting all the members of the mid lane. The Rift Tile's been spawned, but the dragon is still at 2k.
Kranix is low though, and if he gets caught, this might very well be enough. Forced to stasis out early on, and it's going to be an attempt from Renekton to get into the back lane. The dragon has been stolen somehow by Galio as Principality. This is way closer than it should have been from the way that this team fight started, and Miloup is going to try and clean the rest of it up as Dunkmaster Darius gets himself a 3-pointer.
They were trying so hard there to try and contest the dragon. Even though Turyzz was doing it by itself, it was going so slowly, and I think it was on about 2,000 health. So if you get the reset on the dunks, if you can carry on auto attacking and getting them stacks of the passive, he could just keep dunking for the rest of the game. And Miloup, we've kind of spoken about him being a little bit aggressive, but in that team fight, he was the dunk master.
Yeah, it did everything he needed to do. I feel like Kranix getting chunked out to start that fight, that feels so bad as a Vayne because you're so short range. You're like, okay, I can't really do too much in this fight. So maybe that's one of the reasons why Principality were able to kind of turn this one back around. It's a 2 versus 1 in the bottom lane. Olaf is not going to be there anywhere near enough in time. And now this this Vayne, I should say, is monstrous. Going to try and chase down Olaf in the side lane as well. Dark Binding does land mid lane. Shargz should have enough to pick that one up. It's not enough as the Kai'Sa tries to stay alive. Will try and get one more as Lulu's fallen. It's just falling apart at the seams for Principality. It looked like ViV maybe had found a bad fight for themselves in the previous one with Principality. Now 3 people down as Baron is up. That should very well be the objective.
The reuse on these on this Morgana this game with the bindings have been so clutch. During the Rift Herald fight as well, and that mid lane pick onto Kai'Sa, with Shargz just behind, just really easy pickings at the moment. And this Morgana support, we spoke about this Morgana dual lane. We spoke a little bit about Morgana mid lane. Morgana support's not really something that we normally see, because with supports, you don't really get that much farm, you don't really get that much gold, so sometimes it's hard to be able to do a lot of damage and be that wave clear tool. But you can see he's building Rylai's Crystal Scepter, he's now going for the Andrew's Tournament, and with this combination of these 2 items, your pool will be able to slow, and it will also give you more damage from the Andrew's Tournament as well, because if you don't know the Andrew's Tournament, if you do slow or immobilize the champion, you will be able to deal more damage. So the combination of 2 items, then you have Ludens for the extra mana as well. And again, he's like the AP damage source, even though the rest of his team is AD. He's the support, and he's the one that has all the AP damage source. You can see the port is just slowing all the members in the binding. Morgana support's actually doing quite a lot of damage.
Wow, that damage was huge onto Jesus. I was about to say that, like, despite the fact that this Kai'Sa was put back early on in the game, I feel like Jesus has soaked a lot of the incoming minion waves and actually has about equivalent gold to Vayne, which, considering this game is nearly a 10,000 gold difference between the two, at least gives Principality a way out of this. But there's not enough damage to eat through the health bars so far, and multiple waves of super minions are pushing up towards the inhibitors, and it's really just one fight left for Principality. If they can get another good one, there's the package in from Corki, and the health bars have fallen already for ViV, but it's all about Kranix. Can the damage come down? It's Shargz that picks up one. It's actually Ryu that picks up the second, and it looked like a good start to the fight for Principality, but ViV easily shut down that bottom inhibitor.
Yeah, I think Principality are feeling the pressure now. They've got 2 inhibitors down. I think they were trying to team fight because they know that if they lose these inhibitors, then it's going to be really hard for them to come back. If you don't know in WREC, if you come from recently, the inhibitors don't actually respawn. But you see, Kranix was actually stuck here. He was in stasis, and it was a really good knockup for Blaster, but there was just no follow-up in damage at the moment. ViV Esports are just so far ahead in gold. You can see Kranix is just... he doesn't care at all. He's a Vayne now.
He
has 4 items, exactly. He knows what he's doing. It's actually the Elder Dragon that's spawning now as well. We're fast approaching into this late game, and if ViV can take this, that's going to be game over.
Yeah, Ryu looks like he didn't have stasis for that one. His Elder Dragon still 1600 health, doesn't even need the jungler here, as that's a double kill for Miloup. It was the layup from the Vayne to start this game, but Miloup has been crushing these team fights for the last few minutes, and aside from one big Kai'Sa play with this Renekton, I don't think that there's a whole lot more in the tank for Principality. They're going to try and push down the Nexus in favor of ViV. In goes Kai'Sa, out goes Kai'Sa, and down goes Kai'Sa as ViV Esports are going to take the Nexus and take game 1 against Principality.
Yeah, a very, very good game for this.
You've now got to throw a Zed into the mix as well, who's just going to be able to go into the side lane and 2v1 all the time. It's a little tricky for ViV's comp to pull off. You're saying, ooh, I'm guessing it's a Thresh here being up in top lane.
Yeah, that's a bit interesting, but go on.
Ryu's here. As soon as they see the Thresh, that's a flash. Instant respect.
And build like a little bit of tankiness, but most of the time you'll see like Bladed Ruin King, Trinity Force, which doesn't really give you a lot of tank stacks, more going for that dueling potential. Set is definitely an eye we have to keep on in the mid lane as we see Ryu going mid lane.
Play comes through from Ryu. He's even gonna kind of block the ability for Blaster to ult there, and it just means that Miloup has to get it there. Can't quite get it. This is like the tragic thing. Now they're even going to reveal that Kranix is here, and it means that Sensei can't really. If you'll indulge my analysis hat for a moment, it's not typically the role I'm going to take on. I wonder whether Rift Herald is more important for ViV to take because they're trying to play 1-3-1. So breaking that mid lane tower is infinitely more important for a team fight, for a comp against a team fighting composition. I'll shut up about that though, as Jax has been caught out. Tries to flash the lantern, can't quite get there. Both neutral objectives are going to go to Principality. That's huge.
Suplex. We love to see it. We love to see a suplex, the first suplex of Set in the Wild Rift EMEA Championships. And honestly, like ViV are really slow on the rotations in the early game at the moment. They had the mid lane priority. They were trying to go up into the Baron lane to try and get a pick, but instead they couldn't get anything. There's fights happening everywhere.
Ryu's caught in the middle lane as there was a bot lane fight as well. It is going to be maybe a kill going over. No, actually, Jesus has managed to back himself away. Flash into the fight from Fluor. Miloup trying to get that grand challenge to work. Does now proc it on to a second target, looking for all of those vitals. Can't quite get it. That's going to prevent the heal coming through, and Miloup ends up falling. This team fight composition out of Principality a little harder to kill this time around.
On the side of both teams, really. Go for that Sterox Gauge, being able to get the extra shield as well. You know, Sterox Gauge shield onto the Haymaker as well will be such a big shield and such a big thing to go with, but he could be caught.
Challenge comes out, Suplex comes through, but Suplex City population is full right now, and Blaster will fall under the tower. That's this side lane pressure that this Fluor is going to open up. Now the team fight in mid lane, attempted to be started by Principality, but disengaged is enough to get ViV out.
I want to bring up one of the key points that actually Hell's brought up in between game 1 and game 2. Ryu again with the roaming potential, being able to roam and kick off the set, and that means that this is a 4 versus 4 situation.
They need to buy time for Fluor here though. As you said, it's 4 versus 4. It's even, and it shouldn't be when one member of Principality was dead to start this off. Now they've got Fluor in the mix. They can continue this fight as ViV get the first kill. Morgana ultimate is not really going to lock anyone, but it doesn't matter because there's the kill on to Jesus. It's Rift Herald has gone over to Principality. Dragon should eventually go over to ViV.
Yeah, it is the Inferno. I was about to say Elder Inferno. That's from last game. Infernal Dragon. We're getting a little bit too ahead. I'll get a little bit too ahead of myself here, but they're using this Rift Hold to try and create pressure in the mid lane. Let's out again.
Into the hook, Flay, and Fluor has found a low health Alistair. Should be able to at least force him out of the fight and tidy that up. The Set trying desperately to get the damage down. Does get the shield. Survive face breaker isn't enough to break Zed's health bar, and Zed survives. It's starting to swing ViV's way.
Yeah, ViV Esports at the moment, they're not going to be able to take the Dragon off of this. It looks like Principality are the ones that are going to try and do it, but Amy's really, really low.
Yeah,
I don't know if this is a fight you want to take.
Miloup can get over the wall, and here's the damage coming out from ViV. It was a bit of a bait. It looked like they were gifting. Perfect hook lands as Ryu is going to set up another kill for Miloup, and it was such a bait. The Trojan horse of the low health dragon.
Also got caught in the mid lane as well, and Now this is where Set could be a little bit of a struggle. And again, more rotation.
2 versus 1 in the bot lane. This is exactly what we were talking about. Attack the side lane and prevent anything from happening in mid lane, because now Principality have to drag people down to the bottom lane to stop the Jax. And here's where mid lane's in threat, because does Amy know that there's a Zed here? There's a Thresh here to try and attack under the turret. It's actually not Amy they're going to go for. They're going to look for Blaster, and Blaster's going to re-engage. Suplex out as Zed tries to escape. A lot of damage down in favor of Principality to start, though, as that mid tower is still healthy. Hextech ultimatum dashes out from a lot of the crowd control, but it's not enough to keep Camille alive. Rampage for Miloup, and it's all starting to twist further in favor of them
as well. And that's pretty much the same across the board. But look at Miloup in the top lane. We haven't really spoken too much about him, but he's 5-1-4. He nearly has 12,000 gold. That's pretty much 2,000 gold, or 2,000 gold plus ahead of like the rest of his team.
Oh, the attempted engage on Kranix just fails, and actually ViV are going to opt into the fight. Corki did just pick up package to start this engage. It's a 3 versus 3, but when Alice is 20% health, that's not really in favor of Principality at all. I was going to say, like, Corki picking up package even before the timer of Baron started is a little early for my tastes, but if ViV do choose to fight in the jungle, the package could go, and it's looked for a moment to be Principality picking a fight topside, but ViV have rotated up. Wukong is burning down with the Ignite. He's basically out of this fight as that last tick will pick him up. Zed's Deathmark will proc and take Camille out of the fight as well. Amy is gone. Jesus is gone as well, as it's a double kill for Turyzz. Messy end to this fight as Set has hung on for just about long enough. Kranix and Shargz are going to push down the tower with Miloup. It's 5 kills in exchange for 2 in favor of them.
You know, but she's going to be getting that source of pressure. But as mentioned, you know, they have so much late game potential with Fluor, Jax, Morgana.
League macro 101. I'm going to cut you off. This is a lesson for newer players. Fiora's going to create a problem in the bottom side that as soon as somebody from Principality shows up, the rest of the team from ViV start Baron. If nobody shows up, Fiora takes multiple towers and inhibitors, and ViV just never start the Baron. And here we go. Miloup started. Camille will show. Miloup backs away. The team can start Baron if they want to.
Yeah, this is a jungler on the side of Principality. Honestly, ViV could honestly just go for the dragon, but instead they go for fight.
They're going to go on to Blaster. Oh, brilliant. Hook lands again, but you back away from the fight, and you buy the time for Fiora again. Fiora Grand Challenge goes out. Can Miloup get the damage down? A little bit messy here, as under the turret is not enough damage down. 3 people are committed. The Baron is going to go over. Miloup is fine to trade his life here for this. Even gets the turret. Baron should be over to ViV. Incoming engage, though, as Alistair's going to go in. Remember, there is no smite available. Teleport coming through. Alistair has fallen. Baron is already down before Camille shows up. Amy just has to pick up kills to try and dissuade this. It's Jax picking up a second kill from this. Camille is going to fall for the triple kill, as Jax is going to keep the damage coming. If Jax can get it, no, it's Morgana is going to shut off a quadra kill. Stasis comes through. Turyzz doesn't get the 4th kill. Double kill with a triple kill. Full house for ViV, all in exchange just for Miloup.
Yep, as you said, you know, that ViV will take that any day of the week. Like you said, perfect macro on the side of ViV. And the thing is with Fiora as well, there's no one that can really deal with the Fiora at this stage of the game. That's why they had to send Amy down there as a jungler. But yeah, that's it. That is going to be the game. And